everyone, I'm Kyle from SK Tuning Repairs, and on today's YouTube video we're going to be going over and reviewing Evil GT's S15 that's been brought to us for a full restoration. As you can see behind us here, the car is currently sat on our vehicle rotisserie, and what we're going to go and do is now we're going to go over and show you the state of the car, how bad it really is, and then we're going to talk a bit about the plans and a bit about what's going to happen with it, but I can't reveal too much as that's going to be left to Evil GT's actual video. So if you go over to their YouTube channel and you subscribe, you'll be able to see what's going on with the car there. And what we're going to do with this YouTube channel is we're going to do behind the scenes footage, and we're going to show you exactly step-by-step process of how we're going to restore this car into a concourse road going street car. As you can see behind me here, Evil GT's S15 has been currently sat on our vehicle rotisserie, and we have now put it in primer. It came to us just before Christmas with literally nothing on it. It had been in a dippers, left outside to the elements, and unfortunately it got rusty. So what we've currently done is we have installed it on our vehicle rotisserie. We have then sanded it down as best we can, and then we have put it in primer to protect it for further things we're going to do to it. Obviously we're going to be pulling the panels off it one by one. We're going to be taking off the spot welds. We're going to be fully restoring this car. What I'm going to do is now I'm going to show you around the car, and I'm going to explain what our process is, what we're going to do to the car, and basically what Ben and Lee's plan is for the car as well. So as some of you may know, this car is actually a drift car, and what we're going to do is turn it from a drift car into a show car. But as you can see, there's some very poor welding on this vehicle, especially up in the inner wells here. There's a lot of rust down here, all around here. All the floor pans have basically had it, and somebody's actually not even welded this panel on here. It's not even part of a sill. They've just literally screwed it on. If I push on, you can see it just peels off. So now if you look at the floor pans, you'll see that the chassis legs have basically got a lot of dents and bent and broken and a bit of rust on them. And also I'll zoom in down here for you. You can actually see that's where your foot would be inside the car, and then basically we'll go along, and as you can see here it's all bent. And basically what that is there, somebody's put a jack on that car where they shouldn't be, so that's why it's crucial that when this car is done they use the correct jacking points. So moving on a bit further back, as you can see the rear pockets here have gone, and this is where your subframe bolts to this here, but also there's also meant to be bolts that go up to here and here, and what's actually happened is it's got that rusty and that corroded that basically that piece, when it's been removed, is not even connected anymore. Again, the same situations happened down here unfortunately. And obviously the only thing that was holding that part in was when the subframe was in and the bracket was there. But obviously we're going to turn around, take all these panels off, replace them with brand new OEM panels, or even fabricate our own panels to make it 100% perfect. And then what we're going to go do is we're going to turn around and mock build this car, so we know that everything is 100% perfect before it goes into our spray booth to have the final colour put on this car. Now if you look here, somebody has actually got a drill, and they've actually drilled 3 circles. Now, because this is a drift car, my thought process here is maybe did they want to go rear mount radiator, or maybe they didn't, but all I know is that they've drilled partially into the chassis leg, which isn't good. Moving on further back to the final part of the rear of the vehicle, as you can see here, all the chassis leg is actually corroded all the way back to the back of the car. So what we're going to have to do here is these are actually done in layers. So what we're gonna have to do, if you look here, you'll see spot welds. Spot weld there, spot weld there, spot weld there, there, and so on. And what we're gonna do is drill those out, take them layers off one by one, replace it with factory panels from the donor car that we have actually already purchased. And then what we're gonna do is treat them, sandblast them, primer them, coat them before they get installed back on the vehicle, and that applies to every single panel on this vehicle. So obviously there's a lot of rust on this vehicle, and we're only covering little bits for you here. But also one thing we have noticed, where this had a Rocket Bunny kit fitted before, it's had basically cuts put into the inside to make it wider and make it more clearance. But unfortunately, for what's going to happen here for the road car situation, the show car, that's not acceptable, and that's not how we would do it. So what we're going to do is, when it comes time to show you how to do it, we will give you a tutorial on how to do this correctly and do it if yourself if you want to. As you can see here, all the rear pockets, they've corroded through. Now this is actually where the battery sits, and this is a common place on S15s, because what happens is when the battery starts to leak acid, it actually starts eating into the metal, and eventually over a time and time, it will corrode through and rot, as you do see here. So as you can see, we've just showed you briefly the underside of this S15 of Evil GTs, and basically this car is in very bad condition. Like I said, we're going to be replacing a lot of panels on this vehicle, and that is why we've acquired a donor vehicle from Japan, which is currently in the UK, and we will be revealing that shortly as a donor car. It can't be put back on the road, but what we can use it for, it is a rust-free shell, so we're using it for all the panels we need. And then what we're going to turn around and do is show you how we remove spot welds and how we're going to piece this car back together. As you can see, the cage is very good in this car, and that is the only reason why this car is purely being saved. If it wasn't for the roll cage, I think this shell would have been scrapped. Now if you look in the inside of this vehicle, to be fair, there isn't that much rust, but I'll tell you what there is. There's some very artistic welding in this corner over here. So as you can see here, we've now turned the S15 upside down, so we can give you one final walk around and just show you everything that we've noticed and gone through so far. As you can see here, there's a lot of rust, a lot of patchwork gone over here, over patch, which is not acceptable. So we will be replacing everything in here, from here forward. It'll all be replaced with brand new panels or reconditioned panels from the S15 that we've currently got coming, which is our donor car. So we'll be replacing all the sills. As you can see, there's just sills that have got holes in them where jacks have been through, corrosion's happened, bad repairs over bad repairs. A lot of things has been done to this car, and it's nice to see that someone actually wants to take the time and restore this car properly. So the beauty of the vehicle rotisserie is we can turn this car 360 degrees and get to every single angle that we need to when we want to repair this vehicle, and even paint it as well. So as you can see from what I've just currently shown you, just little snippets of what's actually wrong with the S15, all the rust that's there, and basically we have our work cut out. But Ben and Lee have trusted us with it, and we're going to show them and show everyone what we can do. So the process here is, what we're going to do is we're going to start cutting all the panels off and also drilling out the spot welds and taking off all the rusty areas that we need to replace. And then what we're going to do is, once we've done all that, we're obviously going to install the new panels from our donor car and some new ones as well. And then once we've completed and done all that and all the panels are on and fitted and checked and done, we will then actually build this car prior to paint and sandblasting. We will actually build this whole car back up into a rolling shell with the engine and gearbox and everything that's going to be fitted to it. And the reason why we do this is, you do not want to basically have this car fully stripped, painted into a nice showroom finish, and then find that you've got to basically go and strip things down or drill holes in your freshly painted bodywork. So that's why you do what's called a mock build on the vehicle first. So as you can see here, here's the rear subframe from the S15, and basically it looks very bad, in very bad condition. We're going to basically strip this down once we've done the mock build. We're going to check all our clearances. We're going to check all the subframe for cracks, if there's any cracks or anything like that. Take all the bushes out. We're going to replace a lot of these arms. So all these arms down here, basically they will be changed to probably a Nismo set, because basically this being a road car, you want a nice, comfortable but sporty feel to it, whereas this is more of a drift car setup with all the Driftworks arms by the looks of things, and that will make a very harsher ride. Also, what we're going to be doing is fully overhauling the differential, but depending on what power we go to, this may end up being replaced anyway, so stay tuned for that one. But also another thing we're going to be doing as well is when we strip this down, obviously we will sandblast it all, it will get powder coated, some things will be vapor blasted and stuff like that. But all the bolts from the whole of this vehicle will be sent to get zinc plated or zinc coated, and basically turn them into brand new bolts. And if you take a look at, for instance, SR Auto Bodies or Tommy F on YouTube and Facebook pages and such as that, that's the standards we aim to go for. So again, when we were talking about the rear subframe, we said that we were going to strip it all down, zinc coat all the bolts, powder coat all the subframe, check for cracks and things like that. Same applies to all this. But also what we're going to be doing is we're going to be switching these coilovers out. Yeah, they're a decent set of coilovers, but for what Lee and Ben want, personally I don't think this is going to cut the mustard. Also, with the power level that they are talking about going, I won't reveal too much, but basically these brakes, they're not going to do the job. So stay tuned to see what we're going to be replacing these brakes with, and basically you will see a big transformation on this whole vehicle. So as you can see here, here's some of the Rocket Bunny kit that has come off the S15. Unfortunately, some of it is not genuine, but some of it is, so that's always a good thing. Basically, comment down below, see what you think they should do. Do you reckon they should stick with the Rocket Bunny kit, or do you reckon they should switch it up a bit? So last but not least, here's the 2JZ from the S15, and basically if you've been watching the Evil GT video, the one that's just come up before this, you will see that we did a cylinder leak down test on this, and basically this showed very good health except on cylinder number 2, but we will find out why that has dropped down in another video, where Ben and Lee will be stripping this engine down and they will be learning how to rebuild this engine. So we've just talked a bit about the S15. I've gone around a few of the bits, showed you a few key areas that's got rust, told you a few plans and what's going to go on with it without revealing too much. And what I'm going to do is now, I'm going to end the video there, because in the next one we will be revealing the other S15 donor body shell. Along with that, we will be also cutting off the front end of this car and some of the other panels. And also we will be doing a few other bits and pieces and revealing a few other little things, so stay tuned for that. I'd be appreciative if you went over to Evil GT's video and their YouTube channel to like, share and subscribe, and it would be really appreciative if you liked what I've done today and to like, share and subscribe as well, please. Thank you.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen, I won't let them fester me.